All right, let's get into it. Is the mic on? Is the mic on? All right. No live on Substack today, just because I do believe I left my charger in the car. And I didn't have time to go out there and get it. So we're just gonna be on YouTube today. So I hope everyone is having a great start to your morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you're live. Let me know if you're live. This is gonna be a good one. Y'all know I'm coming. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. All right, y'all. We are going to talk about something very, very good morning. Who is that? Cashflow Kimmy. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. All right, y'all. We are going to have a good conversation. You're going to get very, very motivated. Let me pin this message. Hey, camera. Hey. All right, y'all. So come on in. Give me some hearts. Give me some hearts. Come on in. Um, hey y'all. Come on in. Come on in. This is gonna be good. I got my notes. I got my did I get my glasses? Because I know me. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. I hello and congratulations again, Tanika. Hey Sean. Tanika got her sale today by a suggestion I made to her about her offers. She is a veteran coach and putting herself back out there. And I said, girl, you already got what you need. Put it out there. And she made a sale. Y'all stop saying people ain't buying. People, oh, there's no one. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There are people still out here that's buying. There are people still out here that's making things happen. Y'all better stop playing. All I could do is tell you. All I could do is give you encouragement and give you a tip or two, but you have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. Like, there's no way around this. You have to trust yourself. That is like, you just got to put it out there. A lot of y'all already have goods. You have, you got to put yourself out there. And a lot of y'all don't realize how smart you are, how intelligent you are. And it's like you're totally missing the whole point. You're missing the entire point. Like, there is so much in you, and you're just flying by the wayside and hoping that someone feels sorry for you. Put that stuff out there. They got on me. Look, just like I'm getting on y'all, they were getting on me on my post yesterday when I said that I have a 50K offer, and somebody literally asked me, "Why is it so low?" And I'm like, "You're right." you know, like, and then I had a friend to comment and say, "No, you literally need $1 million offer. Like, you need $1 million offer." I'm like, "OMG." You know what I'm s So, what am I trying to tell you? You're thinking that's a lot. People don't people buy in accordance to the level of usefulness, okay? And on Threads, I have a colleague of mine who has been going, like, super hard. She's posting 30 times a day on TikTok. She made 100 and well, I think $30,000 last month, $130,000, and she had a, 130 she had a six-figure month. And see, I can say it because I've seen it happen. Like, I've seen people do it. I have friends that have achieved that, right? But she put this out there, and I knew I knew when she let Threads know, because you gotta remember every single platform has consciousness, right? A lot of people just do not, they cannot fathom because they think that a 100K offer is someone who can barely keep their lights on. Like, no, this it's not for that person. It's not for that person that's in survival mode. Like, this person is super established. They have everything. Like, they literally have cash at 100K. And you can't, a lot of people can't understand that because they've never been in proximity to people with that type of money. People like myself, I have seen it and been around people that have that type of money. So it's not foreign to someone like me because I've seen it. And some of y'all have been working positions and jobs. Your CEO of these corporations, you think they make $100,000 a year? Are you kidding me? See, you can't be mad at people that are accomplishing or closing deals at that level just because you've never been around it. You just need to be in proximity to people that are doing these things. And the way you do it is by either investing in that type of access. And I know that this is going to be an issue for some people too, but it's about proximity. It's about proximity. And I mean, it's about that. But you can this is also the thing too, is that even with lower ticket products, you can sell digital products and still make $1 million a year. You just have to have a different strategy. You can sell both high ticket and low ticket. It takes a different strategy. You have to have volume when you have a lower ticket. But then also with higher ticket, if you don't want to do sales calls, you have to put content out there so that people can respond back to you. She knows what she's doing. There are some coaches that I know that don't talk about their strategies, and they literally like they get online and sell. They don't get online and play. They get online and they sell and they create good content and they use different strategies. The whole point is to get to the conversion. I don't care what you do. I've told clients, I don't care if you get out there and hold a poster board and said my course. I don't care what you do. The whole point is to get the conversion. The issue is that y'all get hung up on the how. You get hung up on how it's going to get there. But what I don't want to do this though, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do this. You said a whole bunch of I don't want and not what you want. But what you say you want is going to take doing what you don't want. Because I don't have to push you out of bed to go to work just for somebody else's. It's comfortable. You can get up and you will go and you will march right onto that cubicle and you will go in there, you will clock in, you will bring everybody donuts and be like, "Hey everyone, good morning." And your whole business is just on fire. You still sitting with the same vision board. I really wanna I know I'm meant to be rich. Not acting like that. People have told you over and over again what it takes, and you don't get it. It takes supernatural power, you know. It takes supernatural. Like even this triggers people too. When I'm talking about hustle culture, I'm gonna be honest. The hustle culture is made up. And I told people I was like, I don't I've it's so stupid to me. It's such made up. It's so made up. Anyway, here we go. So hustle culture, what does that mean? Hustle culture is best understood as a modern myth that equates nonstop busyness with worth and guarantees that enough grind will inevitably produce success, even though that promise does not reliably match how power, wealth, or opportunity actually works. So it's not real in the sense that it sells a story about merit and self worth that ignores structural limits, human biology, and the fact that many who grind the hardest remain economically insecure or burned out. And this is why a couple of things. This is why it's fake. Because number one, you have to listen to your body, but you also have to know when your body is bucking back on you. That's why some of y'all need to read The Big Leap. You need to read that. It's about upper limits because everybody has an upper limit. You have a baseline to where you feel like when you get money, you stop. And this is why a lot of people, like on Fridays, people get paid. And guess what? Saturday and Sunday, they go and spend it up at the mall. They go to the grocery store, they go get their hair and nails done, and then Monday they're back at work. You know why they're back at work? Because they've spent it up. They need to keep working. So it's not like they get their paycheck and say, okay, I quit because now I have seed money, or they work for 30 days and get like 2 or 3 paychecks or whatever. And they say, okay, I'm done. I'm going to put my money back into my business or whatever. No, they keep working because they don't have a stewardship mindset to start something and own it. So they keep spending money every single paycheck, and they create a lifestyle that is around that paycheck. And that's your upper limit. Like you don't see anything past it. It's fixed. And so when you have a fixed income, because that's what a salary is. I've worked in HR for 10 years. A fixed salary has everything to do with a fixed mindset. And so when people come to you and say they want to build a business or they're building a business, or you can't fathom how someone and I'm being, funny with this in so many ways, but like making $1,000 in a day is foreign to people. Like they're like, how in the world did you make $1,000 a day? Or even make $1,000 a day as your baseline every single day for the month. And then when you want to challenge yourself and say, instead of make $1,000 a day, I'm going to go up to $2,500 a day. So now you're like, how does that happen? How do you do that? What do you mean? How do you do that? You put out content, you put out information, you get in touch with people, you talk to people, you build leads and you convert them. Easy peasy. That business that you go to work for, that you clock in, they have to have leads. They have strategies. They have strategic objectives. They have goals that they set for the company. Once they achieve those goals, they either lay off or they hire more. And this is what, like, when people say, oh, lay off is there's no job security. Of course it's not. You're capital. That's all you are. In corporations, you are human capital. That's what they call you. Like, you're not a family member. They don't care about what you spend money on. Well, I have bills. Okay, what's your point? You created those bills. My friend turned me on to Dunkin'. And because Starbucks really been tripping, and I know they're on strike and all this kind of stuff, and I don't care what y'all say. I don't care about the protests and all that kind of stuff. I used to love Starbucks coffee, and they've been like tripping lately. And so my friend was like, "Girl, go to Dunkin'." And Dunkin' not only is it bigger, but it's like they have not missed. And I put oat milk, not oat milk. I'm sorry, almond milk in my coffee because I'm lactose intolerant. And ooh, it's just been so good, so delicious. Anyway, just thought I had to say that. Starbucks been tripping. But I don't care about like the corporation, all that kind of stuff. I want my coffee. Um, okay, so moving on. You have to understand that the hustle culture was a coin term, and let's just go ahead and put it out there. So most people, out here in the online business world define hustle culture as a work ideology that glorifies constant productivity, long hours, and relentless ambition. And it was kind of put out there because to have ambition as a woman was seen as masculine. Um, and I'm telling you, when it stuff started to come up, right? Hustle culture is a term where women used to feel guilt about working, like, oh, she's missing out on her children. She's missing out on like resting and all this other stuff. And the reason why women get so triggered by the word ambition is because they think that they're going to scare off men that they could potentially marry, not understanding that the men that they actually want values education in women and values ambition. And I'm talking about men of wealth. I'm not talking about men that are insecure and struggle to lead themselves. I'm not talking about those men. You have to remember, like, most men just don't, they're not even worth the trouble. And I've said that. I used to tell women, like, you got to get rich so you have access to the type of men that you want. Like, you're not, you're poor. Like, by definition, in so many ways, you're poor. You don't have access to the type of men that you want. It doesn't mean like you're worthy or less worthy or whatever. You just got to make the money so you can access that type of person. You need a skill set. When women tell you that, oh my gosh, like you're pushing yourself, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm pushing myself. And you have to always pay attention to women who talk like this because many times they don't have to, and you hear the words I'm saying. And this is no dig to wives. This is no dig to women in relationships. A lot of women that did that, right, were women who were married to successful men, but they also had to do something. I told y'all I honor marriage. I do. I'm a huge supporter of marriage. I'm just not a supporter of poor marriages. Like you willingly going in and you don't know, you just both y'all paying bills and all this kind of stuff, and you're doing all this work and trying to take care of the kids, and this man is not pulling his weight. He don't understand. If he's not building wealth with, like, y'all don't have a plan, y'all don't have a vision together, and what was the marriage for? What was the point? And this is not to, like I said, this is not to attack marriage, but some people get married because they don't know how to live by themselves. Marriage is supposed to be a tool for wealth. That's why I told y'all it was not meant for everybody. People say it's about love. No, it's not. It's never been about love. Love is an emotion. So those women got envious, I think, of women who were going hard, and they started to make them feel good that you're not going to find a husband like that. You're not going to find a husband. And that's because men who are insecure do not want women that are successful. They don't want women who are intelligent. They want you. That's why they go for the younger women. They go for younger, pretty women and scar them up, jack them up mentally, traumatize them. And then if they get out of it, right? If they get out of it, because social media was a window to a lot of dysfunctional relationships. And women start to look at like, oh my gosh, like I've been putting up with this foolishness for so long. And because they didn't know they were in foolishness. They were like, I don't know why I'm sick all the time and why I'm out of shape and I'm just this and I'm just that. And this man is over here and he's taking all my energy and I find myself working around the house all the time. And this is not to go back and say that you don't yes, enjoy taking care of your family. I mean, some women do. And there's nothing wrong with that to a certain extent. Because sometimes I think they just be telling themselves that. I don't think they really mean that. Because sometimes you need to lay down. I hated living with a man. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Some women do. I can't stand it. I didn't like it. My last relationship was 5 years. He had his place and I had mine. And I would go over there and spend the night when I wanted to. He didn't spend the night in my house too much. But I went over there because he had 6 bedrooms. He had a huge house. And I was able to lay up if I wanted to for the weekend if my daughter was, with a dad or whatever. And I would lay up. But he was also an investor in my company. You ain't finna date nobody. I ain't finna lay down with nobody. You not investing in me. Are you kidding me? And you can call it whatever you want to call it. Hello. Hello. Women don't, you're not finna lay down for free. That's stupid. Don't ever do that again. But women should start to guilt other women for, oh my gosh, you're working so hard. No, it's not working so hard. Let me just put this out there first. When a person says, a person, man or woman, when they say they want to own a business, right? Immediately, what you are implying is that you want to get out of the class that you are in, right? If you're middle class, if you are in poverty or whatever, and you want to build wealth, because when you say you're starting a business, that's wealth, that's assets. A business is an asset, right? It's an asset builder, but it's a risk, just like stocks. It's a risk. When you buy a home, that's a risk. It's a long term investment, but it's a risk. But when you say you own a business, you are telling yourself that you're jumping classes. Did y'all know that? Or this is new to you? Did y'all know that you're not creating a job? This is longevity that you're building. Welcome, Savon. Who else is live? Who else is here? I see Tanika. I see Sean. Who else I see? I don't see nobody else. Who is it? I saw Camry up top. If you're live, watching live, put live in the comments. Yeah, like you should know that, y'all. You're jumping classes. And I'm going to tell you this, just like when my mentor told me years ago, she was living in Africa. I remember that time she called me and we had like a 2 hour conversation. Girl, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. She was in Africa. I jumped because I was up. I remember when she called, I jumped across the room to get that phone call. But she said something really key one time. She said that you're jumping from not having to having, right? So you're jumping up. And when your new money, hey Christina, who is it? Jim 3115, who is it? You're jumping classes. So you're jumping from almost nothing to something, but this is where you mess up at. And when she broke this down for me, I was like, OMG, you're right. You're right. It is easier. Listen to what I'm saying. It is easier to build a business from the space of poverty. You got to go back a class, not really poverty. No, because poverty is a mindset, poor. You have to go back a class, which is poor, right? So that's why I said when you hear rags to riches stories, it's usually when they lose everything and they start from living with their friends or living with their parents or living with their sisters, sometimes living in their car. I don't know. Go back. She said it's easier to build a business from a space of being poor because that's a class than it is somebody to build from middle class. Why is that? Because you have more to lose when you are in the middle. Because the middle is where you have a limited you have a life that you've built, right? So mortgage, rent, car note, you have bills. And you already know that if you go hard, that it could potentially take away from. And your nervous system is not steady. But this is what you have to do if you're going to build from the middle class. You literally have to not care about the stuff that you have. You can't care. You can't care. You can't care about what you're going to look like. This is why people like you go all in. If you're going to work a 9 to 5 and you're building a business, you need to hurry up and get out of it. That's the whole point. You build the business at rapid speed that you're making at least your very basic living expenses, even if you have to sell stuff or get rid of things or hurry up and pay your car off. I did that. I only did pay cash cars. I still do it. You will never see me. Because I used to do that when I was working 9 to 5. I used to go and get a car note, you know. Mm-mm. But that was because I knew that I had money coming in, right? You do those kind of things when you have a 9 to 5 and it keeps you locked into a system. But when you're coming out the system and you're trying to build something up, you're going to need to free up. My best friend, she paid off her car before she went full throttle into real estate. I have a friend, she paid off all her bills before she went into real estate and went into building her business. Most people pay off this stuff so that you can free up the energy because money is energy. Did you know that? You know this. Money is energy. You know what happens when you don't have money, especially women. You act a fool. You don't like nobody. You don't want to talk to nobody. Your phone's on D&D. You feel some type of way. And then you talking about dating. I don't even look a man in the eye if I ain't got no money. Don't come to me talking about, hey, how you doing? I'm not looking at you. You don't have what I need, sir. You want my body? I need some money. I learned that from the women of old. I thank God I had women, like my grandmother. She said, "You don't never give your body away to some man ain't got no money." Are you kidding me? She said, "Don't be." And she used to say it straight up. She said, "Don't be stupid. Don't be dumb." My old mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law, she used to teach me, does he have money? Even when I divorced her son, does he have money? Yeah, you need to see if he has money. She ain't play. That's what I'm saying. Like, I ain't have women around me that was like, oh, but you have to help him. Excuse me. So, with that being said, why is it that why is it? Why is that? And I need you to listen to what I'm saying. This is matriarchal wisdom. Women want security. This is why women overthink things, and it's an innate characteristic in us. It's innate. And I'm tell you what, the biological concept. Even if you're childless, listen to me. Even if you're childless, you still have this trait because you're thinking about your offspring and you're thinking about your unborn offspring. It just comes up like you have it in you. Now, when women take on men that don't have anything because you're based on potential, that's religion. That's low self-worth, that's low that's you feel like you're on a biological clock. You feel like your clock is ticking because I want a baby. You want to give a man a baby. You don't want to be a mother. Does that make sense? When men want a baby so bad, it's because they're kind of low key using the baby to weaponize. Be careful. I'm not saying all men do this, but some men they want to weaponize the baby. So you have to be very conscientious because your body stretches. You become a totally different person when you give birth. This is why a lot of men leave because they don't know who the woman is when she gives birth. A man sits back and stands back and they don't know how to receive the woman because there's a ceremonial spiritual ascension that happens when you become a mother. Even if you're not like a good person, you just because blood is shed. Why do you think it's a ceremony for marriage? Technically, you're supposed to be a virgin because blood is shed that night on your wedding night when you consummate your marriage. And then when you get on that table and you push a whole human out your hoo ha, blood is everywhere. And the man is, depending on where they are developmentally, because some of them ain't there, they will look at that and get completely grossed out because they don't honor the process. They're still sons in their head. They don't know what that is. They don't even put the fact that you're in pain together. They don't even look at the fact that you pushed out a human. They look at, ugh. And then nursing. I told people that when men, it was a comment, I forgot if it was a video, and they would say, like, why do why do men leave women when they give birth and there needs to be studies, something like that. And I said, well, it also happens even when you nurse. They get jealous of the child. They get jealous of the child because for them, it's intimate. But the mom is like, I gotta feed my kid. They don't get it. It's not connecting, right? So what does that have to do with business? It has everything to do with your innate feeling and wanting to be secure and have abundance, the overflow of resources for yourself as a mother, especially if you have children. You don't ever want to tell your child you don't have something, or the mommy don't have it. Why don't you have it? So the children are set up for limitation because their moms are the first teacher. Women are the first teacher. And so women, when they want to help men who are not able to help themselves, like when men say, well, I just need your help. Mm-mm. Do you know, not only do I have to help myself, I have to keep my hormones in check. I have to, I pretty much bleed once a month if it applies. My hormones are all over the place. And you want me to sit up here and help you? And this is why a lot of times they use you as a springboard. And when they get good, they just go to the next one because they haven't built up themselves. They're too lazy to do that. They use women for structural bouncing ball bouncers to go to the next person because women are resourceful. Women know how to do things. I told women, I said, you bad. You're bad. You know how to do things. You're good at putting structure together. You're good at putting, like, look at what you do all day. Look at how you manage your own day when you're feeling good. Like, you have a structure. You know how to get things. The only thing is that you're not putting the economic value attached to it. This is why when people ask you for help to do things, you don't mind doing that because it's in you to help. You're service oriented anyway. That's innate in you because that's a motherly maternal instinct to help. But when you help people that are able bodied without the return of the investment of the work that it takes to help them, that's when we have burnout. That's when we have issues. This is why we have resentment. And you're talked too crazy because you're not giving, and they expect you to give. The poor, Jesus even said that the poor will always be among us. You live in you live in a most of y'all live in America. This is capitalism. This is not a socialist regime. I just told y'all, if you looked at my live yesterday, what did I tell you yesterday? I told you that you have to think about insurances, you have to think about taxes, you have to think about retirement, you have to think about like healthcare. Like right now, it's open enrollment for the healthcare marketplace. You have to think about healthcare and insurance. You have to think about paying people to do your taxes. You have to think about all these things, tools, systems, every single day. You got to be about your business. You are the entrepreneur. You're not an employee. You're as an employee. And this is not to say that if you say, well, that's why I say like you need to, work for people and da da da. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to do it and you're saying that you want to build something, you need to understand time. This is good. This is good. Critics argue that hustle culture is not real because it promises a linear meritocratic path from grind to success that fails large numbers of people. Now, this is the thing. The reason why they call it hustle culture is because they know that everybody is not going to get there. Everybody is not going to get there. There is a 1% for a reason. The 1% is there for a reason. Okay, everybody's not going to become a billionaire to trillionaire. They keep moving the goalposts on purpose. The point I'm making is that you have to come out of collectives of suffering. You got to stop putting and looping yourself into everybody. You jump classes before they change the goalposts again. That's the point. There were a lot of people that got rich in 2020, 2021. A lot of people that got rich. A lot of people made more money than they ever expected ever in their life. I would even argue to say that some people had it the very easy way. And I've had friends to say, you know, it's easy now. Just wait until it gets tight again. Everybody that was in it is going to drop out. And when the economy started to tighten up, guess what happened? People started to drop out. Mm-hmm. Tanika said hustle culture was meant for the working class to glamorize hard labor. Mm-hmm. And the hard labor didn't go to anything. Like they were trying to figure out like why are you working so hard when and then I'm burnt out because you didn't, first of all, you didn't have any boundaries. You didn't understand strategy. You didn't understand sales. You didn't understand marketing. You went hard on things thinking that you were going to get the reward just by showing up, but you had to show up with a strategy. That's the whole point. It's absolutely right, Tanika. She said it's aimless. Absolutely. It's aimless. There's nothing on the other end. What are you working hard for? Um, when overwork is normalized, it's a mindset issue. I mean, you don't want it bad enough. When you have to remember this, when I say things like you don't want it bad enough, it is talking to people who know that they're talented. I'm not talking to everybody when I say things like that. And people get very triggered because they think I'm talking to them and I'm not. But it's something where you have people that work very hard and they know that they're smart and they know that they're good at what they do. But instead of them trusting themselves and putting in the work, because you are your biggest asset. That's why I told people, I don't let me down. You have to start telling yourself that. I don't let me down. I said, if I'm going to invest in anybody, I'm going to invest in myself. I even look at Maddie. Maddie, I told her, you got to give me a return on my investment, even as my child. You think I'm going to pour all this money to? Because I used to pour a lot of money into Maddie, like a lot. I mean, I still do. But when she was younger, Maddie wanted to do that. And I was put it, I mean, and this was by myself. So I had to make a lot of money because my she wanted to do all the things. But then she would get into things and she would immediately lose interest. And I'd be like, why did you ask? Oh, well, I just want to, And then, but a lot of that was because I'm mommy. And she didn't put return on investment. She just looked at it like I just want to try this and this is how much it is. And I really want to do it. And that's only because maybe a friend was doing it. See the correlation? Or you ever talking about it at school and it looked like it was so much fun. And I get to do this if I, do it like that and do it for this long, then I'll get a chance to do this. I remember I put money into her tumbling. Like because Maddie's a great cheerleader. She's on the varsity squad at her school, and I put a lot of money into. And this was during the pandemic. This was 2020. I'll never forget. We used to go to the. I enrolled her into tumbling. Put a lot of money into tumbling, only for her to be like, "I can't do it. I can't." I said, because I used to put her, little gym. I mean, the gym where the little babies used to go. I used to put in there. I'm scared. But what I'm saying is, I put money into her to be able to do those things because I knew as a former cheerleader myself, because I was a cheerleader in high school, in order to get far and to get scholarships in cheer, you have to be a tumbler. You need to know how to tumble. And I knew that that would increase the value. Listen, you hear what I'm saying? It would increase the value of her having the outcome that she wanted eventually. But that's the one thing that she doesn't have. When they went to camp this summer, Maddie made All Star. She was the only senior to make All Star cheer. She tried out and she made All Star. And she said that she felt like, oh, mommy, I just kind of made me feel a certain way because and Maddie is really good. She's really, really good. Like they throw her up, like she's one of the ones they throw up and put in top pyramids and all kinds of stuff. She's like 99 pounds. And I be telling her, you need to get the muscle. You need a little muscle too. So she's working on that. My point here is that you can have the talent, you can have the skill, but if you know that your value will go up if you added this, if you added that, what am I saying? In entrepreneurship, the biggest thing that people miss out on is that it's not the skill that's the issue, but the skill to actually deliver the product. You're very good at that, right? You're very good at guiding people. You're very good at like what coaching. You're very good at teaching. You're very good at mentoring, right? You're very good at that. Nobody's telling you that you're not. Your issue is your value stops there. And nobody sees more than that because guess what? You're not willing to do what it takes to close the gap, which is what? Sales and marketing. That's the issue. You know why people close up their businesses? You know why people close it up? They couldn't handle rejection. They couldn't handle rejection. They could not handle being told no. They couldn't handle um selling and changing up the strategy. So it's easier to step back and say, I'm burned out. I overworked myself. No, you didn't. You just didn't understand sales and marketing. Well, I was going live and I was doing this every day, but you have to hold it. You have to be the anchor. You have to be the anchor. There is a strategy between low ticket and high ticket. If your courses, how many of y'all have courses that are under $200? Put me in the comments. Me. Put me in the comments. ME. Put if you have offers or courses lower than $200. And if you have none, still put me. Okay. There's two me's. So I guess everybody else ain't got no courses under 200. Okay, got it. Your strategy is about high volume marketing. It's about high volume. Okay. And depending on how you want to do things. Okay. If you are someone who is selling courses or digital products under $200, and I'm just giving a number because it's really not a rule. You really, anything under 3K, to be honest, you don't have to have sales calls. You don't. You literally can stick an offer that's whatever, how much money on your stand, beacons, whatever. It can be a Calendly link, and that's an offer. That's an offer, and you can send people the replay, of your session. That's an easy offer, right? You don't have to have sales calls, but what you do have to do is have content. And if you don't have any content out there, then you're not attracting people. And there is this mindset, right? Oh my gosh, I put so much content out there. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. And if you feel like you put so much out there and you say you put too much content out there, then you're not getting to know your people, and you're not selling enough. You're not selling enough to even have that complaint. I put out so much content. Okay, well, that means you need to sell then because you got marketing. Because you're going to get to a place in your business where marketing becomes the sales strategy. Marketing and sales begin to come together because you close with marketing. Does that make sense? So when I put reels out, My reels have call to actions. Most of them do, which is grab or whatever. I got people that bought for me that I don't even know who they are. I don't know who they are. My marketing becomes the sales strategy. If you don't see a call to action under my reel, that is people, I want people to follow me. I want people to connect with me. It's not necessarily buy from me with that particular reel. It's different. How do you determine that? I just kind of pick and choose. I can't tell you what that is. A lot of stuff I don't teach because a lot of stuff I'm piloting myself and it works. But I know that a lot of people are not going to do it. And so sometimes I just be like, I'm not teaching that. But what I will teach is how to put a good offer together, how to put a good funnel together, help you understand messaging because messaging matters, right? And you need to understand sales psychology and how that works and how to really just evolve and pivot over time. I've taught my clients, the ones that are still doing the work. I have a client right now that just sent me a message. She want to take me out for December. She said, I want to celebrate your birthday. And I'm like, my birthday was 6 months ago. But she was like, I still want to take you out for your birthday because I promised you I was going to do it. So she is in town and was like, I want to take you. So I got to respond to her in a minute. I have beautiful clients. It is so sweet. Um, so what I'm trying to tell you is that you have to realize like the clients that are still going strong even now. I train them. You hear what I said train because coaches train, right? Okay. Coaches train, they stay on top of their people. Like they'd be like, you got this. Like keep going. Keep moving. Period. There's an identity shift that has to happen, which is what a lot of people are not ready for because it takes you leaving a mindset. I have invested probably $60,000 in coaching. $60,000. And that's really being on the short end of the stick. But my return has been times five of that. And I'm being, obviously being, I saw my numbers. We've done a meal in sales. Thank God. We've done a million. Am I a millionaire? No. By paper, I'm not. Valuation, we've hit a million. But that's because of why. Why? Why? And I don't brag about this stuff because you're supposed to be making money. Okay. I'm not that's why you will never hear me talk to y'all about how much money I made. I'm not gonna tell you. Because people are weird. Especially because I'm a black woman too. They don't want black women making no money. They just don't. That's why I just shut my mouth. I'm gonna tell you stats in terms of like how many clients we got and it's up to people to do the math because some people try to do the math and be like, child, you still don't know. But anyway, people are weird about making because like I told you, this is about longevity. So the clients I coach is all about longevity. This is not about one and done and real quick. This is over time. Like I look at Marie Forleo, right? And I know Marie Forleo, she's doing her thing, but she's this woman is still in business. She's been in business for a very long time. And she's been doing kind of the same type of offer every single, I don't know if she's still doing B school, but what I'm trying to tell you is this woman has been in business for a very long time and she's still posting. Well, she must not be doing this good. What are you talking about? Like when I see people talk like that, I'm like, what? I don't understand why Marie Folio is still putting content out there. I know that that is a person who is poor. Because what are you talking about? Do y'all say the same thing about Burger King? Do y'all say the same thing about Target? I don't care if you protesting Target or not. Walmart. Did you say do you have the same energy for Walmart? For the Walton family? So because if you go in Walmart, you're supporting the Walton family. And you can say whatever you want to say. Them people got the store, building wealth, understood capitalism, and put the pedal to the metal. Hmm. Maria was one of the first women. Yeah. Maria been in the game for a very long time. My first stint with coaching was 2009 because I owned a business called Operation, oh my gosh, Operation Life and Success, Life and Career. I forgot this. It was so long ago. But I had a whole like business and I started in 2009. Didn't know what I was doing, but I made money. I made money. I didn't I like I said, I didn't have a funnel. I didn't understand what that was. I just knew to send a PayPal invoice or whatever I was sending at that time. And people paid me to because I used to write resumes for people and all of that. And I used to help them with planning and goal setting and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't understand messaging. I didn't understand the coaching realm. But then I started to understand like, wow, people are really doing this. And so as I began to study, and understand that I really didn't even necessarily invest in myself, in my business until much later. And it took me a couple of businesses to get it right. My first company was that, and then I told people, my second company was a recruiting company, a staffing company, and that was fueled from my corporate career because I built such good relationships. And our first account was Energy Energy. We were a subcontractor. And then we got it on to Halliburton, which is in Houston. And then we ended up getting like a couple of chiropractor accounts. And then I ended up acquiring a partner, another young lady that was a coworker of mine. She had a very severe, like amazing work ethic. So she was the salesperson. I was the recruiter because I was good at placing people. And we placed people at different oil and gas companies and energy companies. And then when I got a divorce, I closed the company and we closed out, appropriately because I wanted to make my partner whole and complete. And she went to nursing school after that. But I didn't have them. I had two mentors, but I wasn't paying them. Right. So back then, and they were older ladies, like they were older ladies. And then, so kind of got quiet, went back to corporate, got out of divorce, invested in therapy and all this other stuff I was doing. And then I got back into coaching again because people started asking me, was I still coaching from way back when? I'm like, no. And then I started thinking, like, maybe I should. Like, what's happening out here? So I ended up just to see. I remember I will never forget it. I charged $100. No, it was $50. I'll never forget it. It was $50 for an hour of coaching. I just played with it. This was 20, maybe 18, 2018. I was still living in Texas at the time. And somebody paid. This girl I went to college with. Within like a couple of hours of announcing. And I'm like, what? Like, and I thought that was big. I was like, this woman, she's paying me $50 for an hour of coaching. And you're like, what? And then I opened up a membership. It's $33 a month. And after I announced it, I had like 5 members that jumped in. And I'll never forget, it was Kartra. I had Kartra at the time. Didn't even understand what Kartra was. Just got it because I saw an ad for it. And then I got introduced, shout out to my best friend, to Cece. And if you don't know who Cece is, Cece was the low ticket business coach. She did all low ticket offers and digital courses, and she gave me my start in understanding courses. And so I used to go to all her workshops. I invested in like her planners at the time, and I just loved it, but I used to hate the way they used to talk about her. My point was is that from there, I launched digital courses, and this was 2018 going into 2018. I was so proud of myself. I only made like $820 out of for digital products. You couldn't tell me nothing. That's why I was like, I was so grateful. I had a little weak site that I put together, honey. I was so proud of that $820. I told my best friend at the time, I was like, well, she's my best friend. He's like, I made $820. She was like, Dennis, I said, people pay me for digital products. I was so grateful. And then time came where I was like, I need to turn this up. I ended up, I was working in HR, and I'll never forget. Spirit told me, put money up. You need to start putting money up. This was 2019. That and Spirit said, you got 6 months. Some of y'all have heard this testimony before. And I remember I started putting back, just throwing back money, throwing back money, throwing back money. And I'll never forget it. I had not decorated my desk. I had not put any, like, you know how when people bring pictures and stuff on the desk and decorate their cubicle and all that? I didn't do that up until the couple of weeks before the pandemic came up that December, right? And what was it, 2019? That's when we started really hearing about it. And January was when it kind of accelerated. We were like, what the heck, right? And then it was like February, March, we were like, what is going on? And then they started talking about all the work things and all of that. And then something in me said, get ready. And I was like, maybe and then look, my job at the time gave me a permanent offer. I was supposed to be a contractor for a year. No, I'm sorry. I was supposed to be just a contractor for 6 months, but they offered me a permanent role. I did not know it was contract to perm, but they told me it was drug. I was so good, honey. I told y'all when I get into corporations, baby, I'm a high performer. Like I go past everybody, and they don't understand it. I'd be like, child, corporate is easy. I always excel. I'm always promoted within 6 months. It never fails. I'm a high performer. I know that. I know that. But anyway, and they gave me the job. And then I said, okay, well, maybe I need to, I'm just telling myself this. Maybe I need to just go ahead and bring some things in my desk and start like really just 2 weeks after that, down to the day. After they gave me the offer now, Jay, your role is being restructured because it's due to COVID. I said, okay. I said, thank you. They were shocked that I was so relaxed because I knew it was time. I knew it was time. Thank God I had saved money. I think I had saved like 6,000 at the time. I said, thank you. And I said, it was my last time clocking in. And I meant it. I meant it. And after that, I started investing. And then I invested $6,000 into my first business coach. And it skyrocketed from there. And then when I made my first 100K, it was in 4.5, 5 months. I was like, I ain't never going back to corporate. Are you kidding me? 100K in 5 months. Less than 5 months. Why am I telling you this? Why am I giving you this information? I had turned straight psycho. People don't realize that the work that it gets to make you believe, you have to get to belief. This is why when I hear y'all with excuses, I'm like, you just need to throw yourself in. You have not done that. You don't know what it's like to go psycho. You have to go against most people's criticism. Most people, they're going to tell you you're doing too much. A lot of people are going to tell you you're overworking. A lot of people are going to tell you that you don't need to be working so hard. A lot of people are going to tell you that it's not worth it. You're going to miss out on this, that, and the third. What about family? What about friends? What about, you know, what about finding someone? What about settling down? And I just tell them, I know what I'm doing. Most people don't want you to be great. Is they want you to be great, but they don't want you to be greater than yourself. Did you catch that? They don't want you to step into self-actualization. They want you in the story that they painted of you. It's much more comfortable. And you want to, and because some of y'all want to fit in so bad, you don't you don't push yourself because you don't want to feel bad. And so you invest little here, little there. I mean, buy this little course. Um, the reason why a lot of people invested so much money is because they looked at the outcome and didn't understand the process. You became more obsessed with the process. I mean, with the outcome than you did the process. I don't want to sell. I feel icky for selling. Get out of the game. Get out the way. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. You learn that so you can, duh. So when you see women that are talking about posting 20, 30 times a day, I love it. And even if I can't push myself to 30, it's the fact of the matter is that people will do whatever it takes for them. And see what happens is that people enter themselves into other they enter their selves into other people's narratives, and they don't want people, well, why are they telling people this? Why are you worried? And the only people that do this is the coaching industry. The online business industry is the only ones to do that to each other. Why are you telling people that they need to post 30 times a day? What are you doing over there? You just are you upset because people don't want to be mediocre and don't want to be subpar? Well, I only post once a day and I get okay, but that's you. And maybe you okay with that little bitty whatever you're making. Some people don't want to make just that. Maybe that's your threshold. I don't care. Everybody ain't satisfied with what you getting. Y'all got to remember, building wealth is supernatural. Some people are making themselves a career and a job. I'm just making this and I'm comfortable making this. Okay, so but you mad because I'm posting 30 times a day? You know why I get on and I tell y'all to go all in? You know when I put those posts up, because I know everybody ain't gonna do that, and some people get triggered and offended, and they feel some type of way because I said it, because I'm the one that's saying it, and they be feeling some type of way because I'm saying it. Why is Coach J saying that we need to go 63? We need to post 63 times a day. That is so much. I don't do that. Okay, well, go over there then, because I'm thinking about all them kids you got. Half the time, I'm not even thinking about you. I'm thinking about the children that y'all brought into this world. I'm thinking about all the stuff you said you want to do, and woe to the children because their mamas is triggered. And you think a man is a retirement plan. Do you see the men these days? They're tired. They're fat. They're not okay. I told people like if your man is just sitting when he get off work and he get on the game, you mad because you got to go in there and cook. You the labor, and he winner in the game. You said, why do you have to go and labor? Why do he needs to go and start a YouTube channel? I said, if your man has not started 25, he needs to start 25 YouTube channels by the end of the weekend. It's too much. 25. Why are you what? Why are you bucking back against me for the men? Every man needs to be hitting it. That's what I don't understand. Like I don't understand. Why is he on the game and he not on what is it called? Twitch. Making money. Building a community and following. Girl, he just played a game to release. What are you doing? Men are lazy. They're not pushing themselves. They're not pushing themselves to the limit. Like I have my Facebook profile. I have 2 Facebook pages. I ain't got enough. This girl under my post said that she had 22 Facebook groups. And she said she had like 7 Facebook pages, all monetized. I said, well, shit, I ain't doing enough. Even I was like, oh, we going there? Oh, and I got a Facebook group. I got 2 Substack newsletters that are now monetized. I have a group offline group intensive. Waiting list for the next one is going up this week. Jay, you burnt out. What? I ain't burnt enough. I am human. Absolutely, I am human. That's why I go to sleep. This is why I automate. Mhm. Lola said, "Yes, I know a few Facebook girlies that create tons of Facebook groups. Some they even resell them. Yeah, you can sell Facebook groups and you can sell Facebook pages. You can sell email lists. There are digital assets. What we talked about yesterday. I told y'all you're building digital assets. Like go to bed. Go to bed. Get your rest. When y'all talk about rest, I'd be like, what does that mean? What is just sitting around all day? What does that look like? So you automate your post and you just sit? You're not pitching? You're not doing bigger things? Like that's the whole point. Why aren't you going after bigger things and doing DMs and converting people into your offers and getting your calendar filled up with paid clients? Like what are y'all doing? What does that look like? What is all of that? 3 posts, no, 4 posts that posted on Facebook this morning. I had already scheduled them out last night because I knew I was gonna get up. Me and my daughter, we went to go and get snacks this morning. But you gotta build the stuff up, y'all. You gotta build it up. But you automate and It do the big stuff. So when y'all say these things, it's just it puts me in mind when y'all say rest, rest, rest. What are you talking about? You don't go to bed. I sleep in on Saturdays. I do. I sleep in on Saturdays. But my sleeping in is 7 AM. Imma stop doing that, but I sleep in. I take my alarm off and I sleep in. But I don't understand when people say that's why I say I'm recharged. I get up in the morning. It's the same energy like when you go to work. That's why I don't understand when people be saying this is too much. People 30 times a day is foreign to people because you think that that you don't want to fatigue people. They don't eat. I just told you yesterday. Everybody is not going to see they're not going to see all 30 posts. That's not how the algorithm works. I'm seeing people that posted yesterday that I'm friends with. I don't see their posted 2 days, 3 days later, but I don't know how many posts they got going on. But what I am going to, what I told y'all, and I want you to hear me very clear. I'm at the top. I want to be at the top of your feed every single day. I don't know why you're not doing the same. What you mean that you don't want to tire people out? They can just unfollow. I mean, you didn't get into business to make friends. You know how many people that I don't pay attention to stuff like that. I don't. I didn't get into business to make friends. I got into business to produce wealth. I'm going to make connections along the way. Absolutely. Do you not know? I don't know who blocked me. I don't go and look for that. I've been blocked many times. Do you think I care about that? No, I don't go and like, who, oh, she blocked me. I don't even know. I don't go and make dummy accounts and go and spy on people. I don't do it. I have too much going on. I'm in my early 40s. Are you kidding me? Like time has to go on. See, Lola, that's work to me. Like this still work. I mean, reading a book, yeah, you can read a book. Stretches in. That's just taking care of your health, but checking financial. That's. I just think we create these things. I just want y'all to think about what you're checking your like I have CEO day, right? CEO day is when I look at my analytics. And I don't mean to be like that. It's just I have CEO day. Fridays from this time to this time. I look at my analytics, look at where I'm at for the week, and do we need to push through? Because if I have a target, right? And I say my minimum, my baseline is 10,000. Let's just play with some numbers, right? So if my baseline is 10,000, that means what? That my expenses, my retirement, my if I have a team, vendors, right? I got to pay these people. And then I want to put money aside for, like I said, retirement accounts and stocks or whatever. And my baseline is 10. Okay. If I'm at 5 for the month and I put that I want to be at least 10 by the middle of the month, then and I'm at 5 at the middle of the month, that means I got to bust my tail and make it 10. Because what I'm trying to do is make sure I have money carrying over to the next month because you're more and I need y'all to hear me when I say this. You're more attractive to banks and things like that when you want a business loan or to invest in other things. And then to pay yourself. Because that money that you're making is not your money. It's the business. You take a portion of that and you pay yourself. Personal development is a part of a CEO's job. It's a part of your job. I mean, you do have to take care of yourself. Absolutely. Like stretching, going for a walk. This is a CEO is 360. And again, I don't know the lingo because all I know is a CEO does not have the regular life of another person, like of a regular employee, right? A CEO, your entire job is to take care of the most important asset in the business, and that's you. It is your job. Like if you have a team, your team is taking over the automated stuff, but now we got AI that's doing everything else. You know what I mean? But your job is to take care of yourself to do the work. That's a part of the work. Like I told y'all, I take a nap between 12:30 and 1. If you see anything coming down my timeline that's around that time, it's usually automated because I'm asleep. Especially if I had like Monday was the first day of the intensive, right? And then I had a live that morning. So my energy was depleted after I finished with the soul stackers. I went to go get my kid, but then I came back and I took a nap because I had to recharge. That was energy to push. Coaching is an energetic sport. So I knew that when I went and got her settled, I took a nap. That's a must. And then I still go to sleep on time because I don't let myself sleep. Like I don't let myself nap past 30 minutes. I give myself like 25 minutes or so because when you go to sleep too long, you don't go to sleep at night, you know. And I wanted just enough to recharge myself for the second leg of the day, which is, maybe making offers or um checking emails and following up with people or whatnot. But there's something to do every day. Because every day I'm like, this is compounding. So for now, you're working for January and February. Did you not know that? You're working for January and February now. Like this today, this is Q1. Like right now, we're gearing up to secure clients for 2026. You need people going in. You need commitments going in. Did y'all know that? No? That's why you need a scalable offer. Scaling is when you operate a company. You got residuals coming in at that point. You have money coming in. You have predictable income. So if everything is low ticket, but you don't have a scalable thing, guess what's happening? You are on the grind every day. That's grinding. Because there's gonna be some days you're not gonna want to show up. And this is why you have a scalable business because it's gonna be days when you don't feel like showing up, but you have income coming in and you don't have to worry about that. So two things. You need to scale offers and then you need to scale your marketing. You have you have AI tools. You have automation tools. You have scheduling tools. You have everything you need. Like even if you don't get Metricool, even if you don't get Social B, even if you don't invest in those type of products, guess what? Guess what you have? Like Facebook has schedulers. You can schedule your content out in Meta Business Suite. You know what I'm saying? Like you have tools. And this is why I've been trying to tell y'all that you have everything you need to scale out And you need to be able to use your tools. You have tools, but then those tools are there to help you with what an admin would do for you. You understand? Y'all get that? What your executive assistant would do, and I'm not lifting my leg on executive assistants because I think executive assistants are necessary sometimes. Like when you need to have a project or something done, like, or you want to hire one, period, to like a person, a human being to help you. Yes, but then you also, if you don't want to do that, you have AI agents that you just have to learn how to put them together or get someone to do it for you, pay them. But I always think like times like this, you need to learn how to do that. You need to learn how, like skills. So it goes back to what Lola said, what, you can learn how to do these things and let that take over for you as you're doing whatever you need to do. And then set time to recharge for the year, goal setting, um, you know, putting out some strategies and really looking over the year at a glance. What did you do differently? Who are you? Right? What are some of the things that you want to implement going into the new year? Doing a full assessment of your offers, everything that you sold that year, you need to have them mapped out. You need to sit down and look at what you've done. What were some effective marketing techniques? What were some of the things that you felt like you leaked energy at? Like what month were the slowest for you? And then how do you proactively prepare for all these things coming up in the next year? But a lot of you, see, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not tracking what you're doing, then you're just going by motivation. I'm gonna touch on this Kelly situation real quick. So Kelly, um, Kelly Rowland is going on tour. And I've always said that she's very talented, but she's also, has a work ethic that I think in so many ways is a little mediocre. Now I know that she's a mom and she wants to spend time with her family, but I don't think that that is the truth. She had a song. What was that song called? Dirty Laundry, or forget about that. Forget what the name of that song. Which is she was transparent about being a little jealous and envious of her sister. B, because at that time B was coming up. But see, Beyonce's work ethic is ridiculous. She's Her work ethic has always been super because she wanted it that bad. She wanted it. And I would have to even go back to what Tina Knowles said, because people asked her, well, was the whole point of her being in a girl group and Destiny Child was to push her so low? She said if we wouldn't have put Destiny Child together, we could have just launched Beyonce as a solo artist. But Beyonce always wanted to be a part of a girl group. And it stemmed from her not having friends because she was shy. And she felt like that was one way of her to acquire friends. See, all this stuff, that's what I'm saying, in my, because some stuff we think about, like, that girl got childhood stuff too. She ain't the only one that struggled with imposter syndrome and all this other stuff. That girl just knew. But she knew she wanted to be a star as well. But see, you can be in groups with people and be in things with people and everybody don't want it like you do. And sometimes they may want it like you do, but they don't understand the development that it takes to get to that level. And I think that's where Kelly come in, because I always say Kelly got swag. Kelly got a lot of swag. Her voice is consistent. She's an R&B international diva. The girl is bad. I've seen Kelly perform. If you go and look at some of the performances over the years, the girl is bad. And she got swag. Like totally but her work ethic is super mediocre. And I think that, and I know people go on tours because either they're trying to pay back from the album, they got royalties to pay, or not royalties, but they're putting the money back into the project that they've done, and then they want to be able to pay people. And then also, it's just kind of the right thing to do because I know that tours is an emotional and physical toil on people, right? You have to prepare yourself for a tour, and because you have people to pay, right? You have all these obligations that come along with touring because it's line items that you have to fulfill. Does everybody y'all hear what I'm saying? So what does it have to do with, so Kelly went on tour, had a very successful had she was opening up for Brandy and Monica, right? And you know, I said to myself at the beginning of when they announced the tour, I was like, Kelly, she is overdue. I said the same thing about Tiana Taylor, but now she didn't got booed up, which I'm just so sick of women doing so well, and then they just get a man and they just forget everything. But whatever, because Tiana Taylor is a beast too. But and I want you to have it all. I do. I really want you to have it all. But I'd be like, you too early. But the difference between women like that is that women have to make it very firm. This is what I want, right? And that's what I want to do. And we be dragging people along with us because I should have it all. But if you're trying to do the icon thing, and this is why when she does interviews, they're always talking to her about Destiny Child. They're never talking to her about herself. They're always bringing up Destiny Child. They always bring up B. But I'm glad. I'm glad. And I think she had to prove it to herself. But I'm glad that she's doing this, but I want her to go full throttle. Because 2026, her sister gonna drop act 3. So she's gonna have to emotionally prepare herself to market. Now watch. I want you to see this is a case study all in itself. Beyonce is gonna drop act 3. And you already know that's gonna be the end of the trilogy. So Kelly is making it known that she's gonna release an album 2026. I don't know if she did that just by saying it and just slipped out, but she's gonna have to deal with comparison. And Beyonce may get criticized because if she drops her album and tour, guess what's gonna happen? People gonna think they have to choose instead of understanding you can go to both. And Kelly gonna have to deal with that as a person. I'm putting all hypotheticals out. But she has said that she wanted to have the she wanted to have all those things, and she did so good internationally. But then she started to play herself down in these interviews and tell people that, oh, I didn't want to, I just wanted to, no, she really wanted it. She really wanted it. I remember Matthew Knowles said that in that interview. He said she let people get in her ear and she listened to them. He said, I had plans for all three of them girls. He said, I there were plans and because he wanted all of them, if they were going to split up, to all of them to be successful, which is the whole point. Michelle listened and became number one in gospel at that particular time. Catapulted. Beyonce, of course, catapulted. She listened. I mean, she fired her daddy later, but she trusted herself. And she went all in because she had to trust herself because she was still under the record company. She had to prove to herself and to the record company that I know how to lead myself. And she didn't stop proving herself until she proved that she was the GOAT. And I think that came when she did the Beyonce album, the self-titled. She didn't even have to put a picture of herself. I think that was the staple that was peak Beyonce. And then when she did the Lemonade, she didn't have to put anything up there. It was just a side of her face in a fur, like bird in a fur coat. We didn't even have to see her face. We knew it was Beyonce. But she's gonna have to deal with that. Tanika, I agree. Kelly has to work on her self confidence and worth because of living in B shadow for so long, and that's her sister, and she loves her sister. Beyonce the one thing she does, she love for some Kelly. She love Kelly. Kelly been there since she was young, and that's when Tina said Kelly is one of her daughters. She said she has 4 children. She puts Angela, what's her Angie? Yep, Angie, the cousin Angie, and Kelly, because she raised them all pretty much. But Beyonce love her some Kelly. That's her sister. I would like to see Beyonce become a mentor and a creative director at some point, but I know she's gonna be so focused on pouring into Blue at that point. Look at Chloe and Halle. They went on a walk. I don't know if it's old picture or new picture, but I saw it from their stories, and I'm glad they're back together. I'm glad they're talking. I hope they're talking business and putting the album out because them girls need to be back together. And people are like, oh my gosh, like they're so good. Their album was so good. I didn't say the album wasn't good. I'm talking about the data. The data is saying that they are not good apart. Look at the rappers these days. Look at the women rappers. Like, we ain't got nobody else. I mean, Nick is it. These women cannot stand. They cannot stand. They can't do it. It's not the same. The work ethic is in the toilet. They can't handle. You want to be kumbaya with everybody. You are not understanding. Everybody's not a girl's girl kumbaya. This is business. Stop looking for it. This is supposed to be the rap game is very different from the R&B game. Savon said I was just talking about bringing duos and groups back. I'm telling you, Chloe and Halle are beautiful together. And I know that Halle is doing the movie. Chloe did her thing. Little Mermaid happened, and then Baby Daddy came in. And don't get me started on it because that really made me mad. That made me so mad when they get. And when I say mad, I'm not talking about like I was so invested but it was just disappointing me because I'm like, girl, what? You Little Mermaid? You Little Mermaid? They already mad that you Little Mermaid, but you gonna add this? And he's so cute. Halo is so cute. But the data is showing that they are better together. You gotta look at the data. They both flopped in their first week of sales. And that's the metric that people go by because they anticipate if you do well, right? If you do well, um, in the first weekend or first week, then um there's more opportunity to market you more and to pour money and then put on a tour, right? Just like Summer Walker. Summer Walker, I didn't know. I don't know any of her songs. I don't listen to Summer. I know that she's for the girlies that, got cheated on and all this kind of stuff and they're exhausted from relationships. I'm not saying that she's not talented. I just don't know her songs like that. But this album that she came out with, and I still haven't listened to it. It's just not my cup of tea. But I know I knew that she had an album coming out because the marketing was so good. Even if the album was trash, the marketing was so good. She did things out of the box to get people to because what does marketing do? Marketing does what? Gets more eyes on you. That's the whole point of marketing. You can do marketing in terms of high volume and repetitive because when people see your content over and over again, you will get locked into their mind. People respond to repetition, right? And then unforgettable out of the box creative marketing, which means brand, right? So people do brand things, create brand aesthetics, like having colors that are associated with their brand, right? Um, doing something a little abnormal, like Summer did the whole like bringing old white men to the red carpet with her, and it got people to talking. People thought that the first old man that she brought on the red carpet was a boyfriend, and it was just a friend of hers, but they probably hired him. I don't know. Yeah, they hired him, but it was a part of the marketing to build up for the album, which is what you're supposed to do. You don't just post pictures, Chloe. I mean, not Chloe, Hallie, and say album's coming out. You don't just do podcasts. You got to do things to get this album sold. Put out releases and singles before, which I know she did, but she put out singles and releases the year before the album came out. So you mean that you have people waiting a whole year to drop an album? Like that's fear to me. You got to think about like that's too long. Cardi, she put out her second album since 2017. That girl been riding off that one album for a very long time. But that's because she was scared to have she didn't think that she was gonna have the same success as her first album. She said that. She said that several times in interviews. So she just, sometimes they do things that's safe, like EPs and all of that. But I'm like, if you got a 5 album deal with someone, I would hope that you go ahead and push them bad boys out so you can get to the next deal or get a better deal to negotiate. Like close it up and so you can, and I know the record company, that industry, the music industry is trash. I know it is, but when you sign contracts, you got to fulfill those contracts. Get from up under it so you can go and do other things. And still, still maintain distribution, because you need all of that too. And people are blaming Beyonce for the flop of Hallie's album, and I'm like, y'all just only using Beyonce as a cop out because this girl's work ethic. She did not push herself. She did not, and she didn't. She didn't. She didn't push herself. I don't care how talented you are. If your marketing is mediocre or you're not repetitive, people are not going to take notice and they're not going to buy. That's the way this works. Nicki Minaj, you already know when she's getting ready to come out with an album because she starts showing herself more and more frequently. Beyonce and already start marketing for Act 3. She's being seen out now with the red pleather and the Vegas thing, and people trying to put all that together. She's very intentional about everything she's doing. She's preparing for Act 3. She's going to be seen more and more with the verb. She's building up. This girl is Beyonce, and she still markets. I told people, you're not bigger than the program. Beyonce marketed so much for Act 2. I don't even think she did a whole lot of marketing for Act 1 for Renaissance. She did. I just know she did Break My Soul. And next thing you know, we had an album. But Act 2, I felt like she put way more emphasis on marketing because why? It was country. And I get it. Country and black folk, people have disconnected country from black people. But she's like, no, we're going to bring these things together, which I totally understood because black people did create country. That is the truth. We started many genres that have been acquired by other groups. And so she reclaimed them on behalf of our ancestors. That girl had to market. And now she's marketing for rock. But she experimented with all these different genres down the years, and we didn't even know it. But she knew that it was going to be a time when she was going to proclaim. And I think after that, she's probably going to do maybe four, like for Act Four for Blue. She's going to introduce Blue because she ushers in people. She ushered in Michelle. She ushered in Chloe and Halle. She's going to usher in Blue. Blue is her protege, and she didn't push herself. Mm-mm. And even on Act One, what was that girl name? Choreographer choreographer for Star with the Elf. I'm looking right at her face. She was a choreographer for Aaliyah too, and Michael Jackson. I don't remember the time. I'm looking right at her. Star with the Elf. She was one of the choreographers for Renaissance too. And she had got a new main choreographer too for Renaissance. But she told Beyonce, you don't have to push yourself like you used to. You've proven yourself. Like, please don't feel like you have to push yourself beyond the breakdown because Formation, that tour, she went all in. On all tours, she really go all in. But I think Formation, she really danced a lot and hard. But that's when you've put in the work and you have proved that you don't have to. And I want to make sure I'm very clear because it's not about performance. It's about reaching a level of actualization to where you feel like your effort and what the input versus the output that you've put in now matches. And you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for other people. You're doing it for yourself. That the investment that I've made in myself, put it out there as myself, and now I reap the return. And I've built up enough channels flowing to me, streams flowing into me to where I don't have to work as hard as I was. I hope that makes sense. And some of us are not even doing 5% of our potential because we're measuring ourselves by an old version of ourselves that really wasn't performing. You're not there. You have to build up the streams. I told y'all that, Kelly is uh um is a class act in herself, but she's also under the shadow. And sometimes we will make excuses because we want to make it look like we're okay, and we really know that we're not because we're not living up to our full potential. And it has nothing to do with pushing ourselves. It has everything to do with legacy. It has everything to do with icon. It has everything to do with achieving legendary status for yourself. And everybody ain't meant to be a legend. Some people are just meant to leave here and nobody remembers them. That was mean. What do you want to be remembered for? I love my child, but I'm not living for her. I don't want to be remembered as just a mother. Y'all understand? Did you hear how it doesn't mean I don't love my child. I just don't want to be known as just she was a great mother. It's no. Mm-mm. This can be one of the things, but that's not my main focus. Well, what about your child? What do you mean? What about her? Like I'm a person. I still have dreams and goals. I don't. That's why I say anybody come into my life. This is what I want to do. My job is not to live for you and to stop what I'm doing just to make sure you're good. You're coming into my life. That's not my destiny like that. It's just a part of a role that I fulfill, but it's not to be something I'm known for. And some women have made that a purpose when they have other dreams that they want to pursue for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. And some of us will make excuses because we don't know how to say, I don't want this like this. I know I'm meant for more. I know I am. You wouldn't keep getting up and doing what you're doing if you knew you weren't meant for more than just this. That's what I tell women, like, you ain't fooling me. You don't keep getting up and making content for the crap of it. You do it to hope and expect. Kelly is a mom, and she just wanted to be a mom. That girl was on podcasts all the time. She was on the American Idol, whatever that was, or whatever that X Factor thing. That girl was working. She also did that show. I remember when she did that show with the group, with them girls, them 5 girls. Y'all remember that? That reality show? It was so good. And I said, "Oh my gosh, that is Kelly." Kelly put them girls together and they were so good. Short lived. Short lived. Them girls were good. I forgot what the name of that. Why is Fifth Harmony coming up? And that's not the name of it. It was something. I forget. It was like 2 names. It was like something story. I don't know. So it was. They were good. Kelly put them girls together. That whole reality show. That girl was working. And I actually believe at that point, I said that was what she was really supposed to be doing. Creative director, putting girl groups together, understanding and teaching and coaching on putting women together. Tiana Taylor did it for a while and was good at it. Creative director. Girl bad. But I knew, I said there is something in that girl that knows she's supposed to be at another level. And we accept that's when I started seeing her doing podcasts, I said, that girl is miserable. She don't want to do that. She don't want to do that. Talking about parenting, the soft parents and all that kind of stuff. That girl want to do that. That girl wanted to be on stage. Was it Chasing Destiny, Sylvan? I think that's what it was. That was the name of the show, but what was the name of the group? The girl group. I can't remember. Was it the name of the group? Hmm. Hmm. Dang. But what I will say too, you can't hide. You cannot hide. You can't hide your passion for life. You cannot hide your passion. You cannot hide your dreams. It's in you. That's why you show up. That's why a lot of y'all still invest. You still because you're still hoping that you can get it, but there's no other way than to run in. Like I gave the Soul Stackers Monday a script. June's Diary. Thank you, Savon. Yes. Yes. That was the name of them, June's Diary. Ah, they were so good. I liked them. Um, I gave them an assignment on Monday, right? They have several homework assignments and one big one. When you're given tools, it's up to you to use them. And I'm gonna tell you now, everybody ain't gonna do the assignment. You know why everybody's not gonna do it? Because there is something keeping people from actually doing it, and which is beliefs. It's the fear. I told y'all this is infantilization. A lot of y'all are super afraid to listen to you. You want somebody to come and save you. You want somebody to come and get you. You want somebody to step in and be responsible for all of the hard work. It's not hard. You're in the era of Wi-Fi. You get to work from your bed if you want to. You get to work from bed. So that's what I'm trying to feel like. You're not in the elements. You're not in the heat. You're not toiling. You're not using your physical body. You're using your brain. And yeah, it can be tiring to use your brain a lot because your brain has to process information. Yes, it does. You have to take time out to write things down and sort things out and get a handle on your day. That's why I tell people do the to-do list, do time block, whatever it take. I don't care. Because the way I do things may not be the way they work for you. I use a to-do list. Some people say, well, I don't do a to-do list. That's this and that's that. I remember went through a period of time in the coaching industry where women were telling women that having a to-do list was masculine. Yeah, right. Having a schedule was masculine. I was like, okay, yeah, you have to do, but you also leave room for things that, may miraculously come to you. Yeah, of course. But what? Posting is so much. It's so much. I need to be in your face all the time. When I told people that I make more money when I post more, people thought that was crazy. What? Huh? What? I post more and I make more money. Why is that hard to believe? The less I post, the less money I make. Duh. And when I say let's post, I'm talking about posting and without having a firm call to action. You understand? Like there's no links, there's no lead people to something. The more I do that, the more money I make, the more inquiries I get. I got people right now asking me when is the next group intensive because I'm in people's face. I have people right now that's I just got notifications while I'm on the live with you that people bought the bundle. And you know what I'm gonna do with this? You know what I'm gonna do with this? And the one from yesterday, because I know I'm in my luteal phase. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna chop this up into 1 minute increments and post. I have AI to help me with captions. Have AI to help me with hooks. This is divine feminine. I don't have to push my mind. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I go long on these live streams because that's content that I can use for posts and reels, stories. Because I know my voice is my amplifier. It's my sales agent. Like my writing is good. Don't get me wrong. But when you hear power come out of my voice, I told you my north node is Gemini. It's communication. I know my voice is the great That's my destiny. Like, I don't even have to look like anything, but when I open my mouth, power comes out. I know that. You understand? Where's your power? Shopify was on my live yesterday. I was upset. I had people watching. I saw someone that I know follows me, and they have $1 million firm, multi-million-dollar firm. Saw them on Substack. Yes, they following me. They was in my stories, watching. This is compound. I know 2026 is it's gonna be amazing. You know why? Because everything I'm doing right now is preparing. I have the easiest job in the world. I get to go live and get y'all together and then repurpose all these lives into other little chunks of content and put it out there for the world to see and for people to enjoy and for people to lock in and for people to inquire. Not easy that is. My ancestors had to be outside. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, slave capital of the South. One of them. My ancestors were traded in the elements. People back then had to work outside. And you inside and you complaining. I tell you, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I am. So anyway, I hope that you felt blessed by this. Give me some hearts. Um, bring a friend next time. Share this live. When I post little clips, because like I told y'all, it's free. It's free for y'all to come here. But if you want to pay back and you say, Coach, I ain't got it, but what it can do is you can share your post on your stories or to a friend. You don't even have to be on your stories. It can be to your friend. It can be anything. I share people's stuff if I'm trying to pay back, right? And so you have to understand that it's circulation, circulation and gratitude. That's energetic currency. It's a whole nother conversation. You have to be able to offer in the bandwidth of the offer that comes back to you. It does, I promise you. Because I used to do it a lot, but it comes back. And you learn from the people that you admire. Because just like I'm doing it, you can do it too. You have it. You just have to believe it. And you have to know you have just as much right in this market as anybody else. Amanda Francis is a business coach. She's been in the game for a long time. She's going to be one of the housewives on Beverly Hills. It was announced. I don't know if y'all saw that. Some of y'all saw it, some of y'all didn't. But if you've been in the coaching game for a minute, you know exactly who I'm talking about. It's people making big moves out here from courses that they're selling. That woman built a life. That woman went hard. She was posting 20 plus a day. 20 plus times a day. And she's still selling coaching. She's still on her Instagram. She's still selling coaching. I think she engaged too. That girl made a life for herself. Did very well. Very well. But you have to believe in yourself. This is it. But it took time. She had to build. She had to get fearless. She had to do the work. You can do it too. You just have to do the work. All right. All right. Sending y'all love, sending y'all big hugs. And we are going on. Talk to you later. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.